Hello.
Hey, I'm Will. I'm from GPP. I've just changed my name so you guys can see me, know who I am.
I
And
was.
where are you joining us from?
Oh,
I'm from Australia. Yeah.
Cool. Welcome.
It's 5:20 in the morning, so it's pretty early.
Wow.
I was in.
Wow. Brave, brave. We really appreciate that.
That was really, really, really. They are really tired. Like, sorry, it's 3 in the morning.
I just made coffee and then went to the bathroom and looked, and I was like, this is what I got today. I was like, nothing's gonna change this.
Ah, bem, a todos, todos os espectadores do Rio Webfest, estamos na edição de 10 anos do Rio Webfest. Esse ano nós contamos com patrocínio exclusivo da Petrobras. Eu me chamo Fernando, sou um homem branco, de cabelo castanho, de barba. Eu estou usando uma camisa rosa com o fundo da minha sala. So be welcome, everyone. This is 10th anniversary from Rio Webfest. So 10 years right now in this edition. We have the Petrobras as a sponsor, exclusive sponsor. So thank you, Petrobras, for everything. I will pass the word for you guys for you have your presentation and then we can talk. Okay. I see you wanna start. Okay.
Yeah, sure, sure, sure. Thank you very much for the introduction and for this nomination. I'm very excited to be a part of this festival, the biggest web series festival in the world. And so I was nominated. The podcast that we produced is called The Sound of Things, and it was nominated in the category for the best nonfiction podcast. And what it really is, The Sound of Things, is a series of conversation with a very, prolific and actually very well-known sound designer, sound artist, composer, and sound recorders, natural sound recorders from the United States, Douglas Quinn. And so I met Douglas in the U.S. He's from the USA when I was his mentee, when I worked on a few projects where he was a mentor on those projects. And then he worked with my students, and this is how the connection continued. But this series of conversations was really prompted by this obsession that I can see around me with communicating and talking. There's so many platforms where you can just talk and say things and throw things at people. But the question that I always has is, so who's listening? If everyone's talking on all of those platforms, is there anyone who's listening actually to what's being said? And even when I work with younger people and with my students, I can see that our ability to listen is deteriorating, by I don't know by a minute. And so that's why I really wanted to have this series of conversations about sound, about what listening, what the sense of hearing actually gives us. And if we really listen carefully to the world around us, how that changes our perspective of what we see, including, among other things. And so that was really the inspiration behind the podcast series. And we covered a lot of stuff: the sound design for film, composing music, also recording sounds that are on the verge of extinction now. For example, like certain species of animals or certain plants that are, about to be extinct due to the climate change, and then recording those sounds for the future generations, maybe. So really, this is a series of podcast, of a series of conversations about the power of listening and about our ability to listen actively, actually, and to actually hear things, to actually take the time to hear things. And that's why we made this choice to just not use any image, not record ourselves when talking, but just talk and then listen to the work that Douglas produced in the course of his 30 something years career. So that's the project.
That sounds really, really perfect. Have these sounds all recorded, and this experience sounds amazing. Thank you, Ice. Will you will do you will?
So I'm nominated in the short film, not short film, in the music video category, which is a real honor. And I said that that project just sounded amazing. I totally wanted to hear more. So congratulations on your nomination. I can't wait to listen to that because I
Thank you.
firmly believe everything you're saying. And look, it's a bit of a jump to the music video, which is called Long Day. But similarly, the artist, the singer-songwriter who wrote it, it was in response to um, a lot of the feelings of desperation that arose out of the pandemic for him. And he was really struggling. He had a young family to make sense of the world at that time. And I think it's really funny that somebody can write a song in a moment, you know, a number of years ago. And here we are globally, and whether that's through the lens of politics or climate change, that those feelings of desperation and hopelessness can still arise, and it's still really poignant. And topical. So Damien wrote this song about that mix of feeling desperate and hopeless, but also he would walk out in nature, and he was lucky enough to live where I live in Melbourne, Australia, on the fringes. So there's some forest and there's nature, and he would look up into the trees and see the birds and be filled with that other part of ourselves that sees the hopefulness and sees the opportunity that things will turn around and get better. From which inspiration he wrote Long Day. And then through our networks, his wife is an actress who I've worked with a couple of times. He just approached me and said, would we like to create a music video? And I jumped at the chance because I've never written or directed one before. So he obviously brought the idea and the song in his band. And then we wrote this corresponding narrative about this guy who goes on this, you know, journey to meet his friends, really, and going from feeling alone and isolated to feeling that sense of connectedness and warmth and welcome. And so you see part of the music video is him playing the song with the band, and then part of him is his character going on that journey, you know, over a period of only 3 or 4 minutes. But that was the inspiration behind it. And hopefully for those who have seen it or who will watch it afterwards, it showcases some, you know, beautiful, stunning scenery here in Melbourne. So that's Long Day.
You guys want to share the link of the project, the Sound of Things and the Long Day?
Yes,
And
yes,
do you
absolutely.
know if Karen is here?
Yes,
Karen,
absolutely.
are you here? So you guys can share in the chat here, and I can send for them. I can send in the YouTube chat the link of the project of you guys. Hi, Kari. Hi. Are you hearing me?
Me? Are you talking to me or
Yeah, talking to you.
Oh, yeah, I hear you.
So can
Yeah.
you present yourself for us, please?
Me?
Introduce yourself. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not a presenter here, but I'm an audience member. Yeah, but I'm a violinist. I work a lot with my own sound design. Right now, I've been doing some vocal projects. I walk in the waves and I sample the sounds, and I layer violin or piano on top of that, and I'm making my own pieces out of that. But I recently in Vilnius recording with the Lithuanian National Philharmonic Orchestra, two violin concertos by Azerbaijan composers and one Georgian. So that was a big project. So I got to do my final evening farewell party with Aista. We have a tradition of this. I was excited to see what she's up to.
Yeah, thank you for joining me, Karen.
My pleasure.
It's really cool. And this, you are nominated to Best Staged Play, right?
I have nothing to do with this. Other than I'm Aista's friend. I don't know about the nominations or
Oh,
even
okay.
but It's nice to be introducing myself to y'all.
Okay. So if you guys want to chat, have questions for each other, we can talk. And then if you're not, we can send like a message for the creators from Rio Webfest, and then we can finish the reunion, the meeting.
Mm. So Will, is this what you normally do, music videos, or that's like something new, or how did you actually start
Yeah,
making
yeah.
music
Thank you. Great question. No, to date that this is the only music video I've shot. But I do direct, and I have a small production company that we're working to move into feature films. But I'm a big lover of music. I grew up playing. I actually thought that I was going to become a musician and a percussionist
Well, I
before
found
moving
proof that in
into.
2024, the best way to make money with Amazon is not because
There you go. That's a great example of your sound design, right? How
exactly?
we always get interrupted by different things. Um, yeah, so I music's always been a big part of my life. I love singing, and I still sing. And it was through Damien who wrote the song that the opportunity came up. And it's actually been lovely to revisit it since it's been doing the festival rounds, because I've gone on to make a few other things like short films and work on other projects to come back to it with fresh eyes and really see the work and what I enjoyed about the process and then the result. And it's really started to uh, kind of itch me, to want to do another one. So I've started to kind of put that out there to the universe. Like, okay, I think I'd like to do another one. It's a little bit like a short film where the challenge is to tell a very short, very specific story in a very, very limited amount of time. And I really think music has the power to emotionally shift people very, very quickly. In fact, possibly the quickest form we can to grab somebody and then take them on that journey or make them feel something or to tell them a story quite quickly. So one music video to date, but hopefully more. And if anyone here is in Australia or I've never been to Rio, so I'd be happy to come and shoot something there. I'd be totally diving into the deep end. But yeah, so that's me. But I'm super interested about your work and if you're continuing on the same path of exploration, or have you picked a new topic with your podcast? Like, was it a limited series, or what are you making now?
Yeah, so podcasts, actually, when I met Doug, I met him in film school. And I'm a screenwriter producer of basically serialized content. And so web series and podcasts and TV series. And but when I met Doug, I really wanted to be just a screenwriter, nothing else. But Doug was assigned to me as an academic advisor. And I must say now, I think I can, he knows this, so that's fine. I was a little disappointed. I was like, oh, a sound guy, like why did they assign me a sound guy? I'm just here to be like the screenwriter, storyteller, whatnot. But I even went to the chair of the department and I said, "I'm sure there hasn't been any mistake. Like I'm sure I'm supposed to work with the sound guy." And he said, "Yeah. But just have one meeting with him. You'll see. And of course, he worked on Jurassic Park and he worked on Lord of the Rings, and he did like everything a sound designer is dreaming of doing. And then, when I started talking to him, so he actually got me hooked on radio production and audio storytelling and radio theater and all, because radio theater in Europe is like this old dated thing, like radio theater is like radio plays, like 1930s, whatever. So it's like no cool person does that anymore. But actually, podcasting is really radio theater. So then this is how I discovered podcasting, and yeah, I've done a few podcasts since. So the last one that I did was called Across Cultures, and it was about cross-cultural communication. So I would start every series, or yeah, every episode with a little like theater piece where we play out a miscommunication, let's say, between an American and a Lithuanian, right? So we do this little scene, and then and then I join and I start explaining, well, can we take it apart? Can we see what happens here? Can we get to the bottom of it? Was there a way to avoid it? And all of this stuff. So
Mm.
I did, we did one season for the national radio of Lithuania. So and then I did another educational podcast too, where we talked just about, it was for emerging. So many people who are actually part of, well, a couple of people who are part of the Rio Webfest were guest speakers, and it was more like a straight talk show, but for emerging filmmakers who want to start their own web series. Let's say, what do they have to know? Where do they start? How do they get funds? How do they get, how do they self distribute, and all this kind of thing. So that's like more educational stuff that we did.
Cool.
So yeah, so that's
And are you based in
me at heart.
Lithuania?
I am based in Lithuania now. Yes.
Wow, cool.
When
What
I
kind of stories?
when I met
Yeah.
Sorry, when I met Doug,
Mm.
I lived in the US, but now I'm back in Lithuania. Yes. Okay. Sorry, I interrupted you.
No. Thank you. I was just trying to put it all the pieces together. So do you still make short films and other things, or are you focused purely on audio production and audio storytelling?
No, I make series, web series, and TV series. So
Mm.
I used to work for big commercial broadcasters here in Lithuania, doing a lot of crime drama type of stuff. And
Mm.
I did I did one sketch comedy that was that did the web series circuit, and now I'm working on a dramedy, which is again of my own. But most, like, my focus of the work is always this, cross cultural communication and
Mm.
migration, and how can we find a common ground despite of all our differences? And those differences can be, they can be based, rooted in our ethnicity, but they can be also, rooted in other things like gender, sexuality, and all, age, for example. Now, age is one of the topics that I'm looking at. So cross-generational communication. So yeah, so diversity and migration and cross-cultural and crossing boundaries is one of the topics that are always at the center of my work.
Cool. And are you still doing, I mean, it sounds like there would be a lot of writing involved in that. So you're still sort of somewhat a screenwriter as well as having done all these other things now as well.
Yeah. Sure.
Cool.
So I
What's the big, oh, sorry, you go. I'll
No,
stop asking
no,
questions.
just go on. No, that's good. No, I just said, like, I put on my producer's and director's hat when I see that basically budget-wise I cannot afford anyone else to direct or produce, so I would just do it myself. So that's why, like, everything I directed and produced myself was like short form. But when it
Yeah.
comes to long form, I usually write. I'm a little writer.
Amazing. Cool.
Cool. Rio Webfest is more than awards, because we believe in networking and connecting people, creators to creators. So for we finished the reunion, I want each one of you send a message to the creators, and the new creators, they are watching us, and the people that you can connect, so you can share your social media, your links, or all the stuff, and send a message to them for we can finish here.
I just wanted to say one thing, circle back to something that Ista said early on
Okay.
about recording nature. It reminds me of a fellow that lived across the street from me in Palo Alto. He was visiting his grandmother and he was fascinated with cartography. But since he lives in England and he has a place called the Fernery on an island, but he's really into recording the sound of plants. And he is really close miking the sound of the chlorophyll going up, and he makes incredible recordings out there. His name's Michael Prime, and I think he makes the rounds of some festivals and that. We have a lot of mutual friends in the electronic music community. And full disclosure that Ista and I did make a film with my hound dog, Bobik, and we put a GoPro camera onto his shoulders and walked around Vilnius. And then the soundtrack was with, no, that was Fella. That was my second hound dog. We merged that with the sounds of my deceased hound dog. So my two hound dogs art together through ISTA. We made a storyline, a day in the life of Fella. It was great fun. If you want to meet people, go, especially chicks, put a GoPro camera and walk around with your dog. It's foolproof. But flora and fauna,
so that was
subjects.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. So yes, we did make a music video, but it was like a very experimental one. But it was interesting because Karen shows that music video behind her when she plays the violin part live on stage, and she did like this big serious program of a lot of renowned pieces in a town in Lithuania. And after the program, everyone would come up to us and say, "We loved the dog music video." Like, so it's I think nature and what we hear around us, like, it always connects with us immediately. Whether it's a plant or an animal, it's always we always have immediate connection to that.
It's somewhere out there. It's called Duetto con Bobik. Bobik is the Russian word for Fido, Bobik. If you're so inclined to seek it out, it is out there. It's a little jiggly though, because he's wearing the GoPro and he's walking side to side. So not recommended for anybody with vertigo.
Yeah. But yeah, that was thank you for sharing. I think the story about your neighbor who records plants, I think we really should know more about these people because they're doing, I think, important work actually.
Thank you all guys for being here. I see you can start the message, then Will, then Karen, and I will finish in Portuguese first for people who was watching us, and then I end in English with you guys to turn off the call. Okay?
Sure. So really, it's not my first Webfest, and whenever I go to those events, I'm always amazed by the boldness of and the dynamism and power of creative energy that is accumulated in those places. And I know it's a tough industry out there, it's a tough landscape, and it's easy to get discouraged. And sometimes it thinks, oh, my little video will not make a difference, but I promise you, it will, and it does make a difference to people. And the stories the world needs, the stories that you tell. And I just really want to encourage you, just keep creating and just keep doing keep telling the stories that you think are important to tell. So that's really my main message, just keep doing this because what you want to say matters. The world would be a much duller place without what you have to say.
Cool. Thank you. And I just want to start by saying thanks to Rio Webfest for having the music video in there. It's always a privilege and an honor to be included in any programming. Like Esther said, it can feel like you're sending your work out into the world and not get much back. So I never, and our team never take it lightly that we're included in the program. So thanks very much. Our company here in Melbourne, Australia is called Golden Pineapple Pictures. If you Google that, you'll find us. If you want to follow us on Instagram, you can do that too at Golden Pineapple Pictures. And thank you once again. It's been wonderful to talk to you guys this morning or this morning Melbourne time. And we hope to be back with some more films another year. So congratulations on your 10-year anniversary.
Got it. Just a goodbye message for everyone.
It's been wonderful to hear this very inspiring, intimate conversation between these creators, and you fueling my own enterprises and next chapters of my own explorations in sound. So keep on storytelling and find your own language, and really we all got to find our uniqueness inside of us, and it's our responsibility to find that and present it in a shareable manner. So keep on exploring and keep curious.
Thank you all for being here. I hope that next year you guys can come to Rio to Rio Webfest, because in the festival there, like Icy says, is like a creator energy, big energy about crazy stuff's happening all the time. People using costumes and running, for example, shooting and filming. So it's amazing. It's amazing. I hope you guys can come. I wish you luck in the awards for you. It's tomorrow at night. And thank you so much. Now I'm gonna say in Portuguese to people in home, okay? Tchau, galera. Esse foi mais um painel. Essa edição é a edição de 10 anos do Rio Webfest, com o patrocínio exclusivo da Petrobras. Nós agradecemos a participação de todos e até uma próxima.